I am pregnant with my fiancé's child. He wants to keep it, but we're both supposed to be child-free. How do I tell him I don't want to keep it? Obligatory throwaway account. People in real life know my main account. I'm pregnant, but I'm not supposed to be. My fiancé and I are child-free. We spoke about it in depth when we started getting serious, and every now and then, we touch on the subject to make sure we're both on the same page. We've been together for 2 years, engaged for 3 months, and in that entire time, not once have we had a pregnancy scare. I'm on birth control, and he uses condoms. We're careful. Then I started feeling a bit under the weather. I've been feeling nauseous or, at times, have a lack of appetite. I get headaches or feel a bit lightheaded, and I've been getting tired more easily. These symptoms kept persisting, and I went to the doctor thinking I'd caught something. They did a routine exam, including a pregnancy test, and then eventually came back to tell me I'm around 6 to 7 weeks pregnant. I kind of laugh because, no? I'm on birth control. There's no way. I tell them to do the test again, but they're confident the test is accurate. They couldn't do an ultrasound at the time, but booked me in for another appointment. I'm internally freaking out at this point because somehow my birth control failed, and I need to go tell my fiancé. Cut to the conversation, and I'm a mess. I'm crying and snotty and barely getting my words out. He does what I expect and comforts me. He hugs me and tells me everything will be okay, and my God, I temporarily felt so much relief. And then it's all shattered, and my anxiety is kicked into overdrive when he tells me we'll make great parents and that he'll be with me every step of the way. I don't know. It's like my whole world tilted on an axis. It's really difficult to explain how much his words affected me because one of the key foundations of our life and future was that our lifestyles are so aligned, and here he is telling me he wants to keep the baby. I ask him what he means, and he says it's clearly a miracle I'm pregnant because we managed to conceive despite everything we've done to prevent having babies. I tell him we're supposed to be child-free. We both agreed we didn't want kids. He says that's true, but now that I'm pregnant, things are different. No? I wanted him to come with me so I could get an abortion. I've never been pregnant before. I've never had an abortion before. I'm terrified to go by myself. I really need him there with me and supporting me and being my rock because I have no idea how painful it will be. I don't have anyone else in my life I trust to support me through this. Eventually, he tells me to go to bed and get some rest because I'm clearly overwhelmed. Which, yeah, I am, but not for the reason he thinks. I am 100% sure I don't want this baby. I don't want to be pregnant or give birth or raise a child. I don't want this. How do I tell him I want to get an abortion? I'm so confused and upset because he's so excited. It's like he's done a 180, and I'm afraid I'll be breaking his heart. Before anyone asks, I've tried getting my tubes tied. I've seen 3 different doctors, and none of them would sign off on me having the surgery. Up until this point, birth control and condoms had always been enough. Final update, so I spoke to my fiancé yesterday about our situation. It didn't go well. I started off the conversation by asking him if he really wanted this baby, or if he acted excited just in case he was worried I wanted it. Someone suggested this could be what happened, but unfortunately, he told me he really does want this child with me. So I ripped the plaster off and told him I don't want this baby. I told him that I was going to do what we had planned and get an abortion. I wanted him by my side, but if he really has changed his mind, then I need to know. He looked shocked and honestly a bit angry. He asked me how I couldn't be excited about this and how I could want to get rid of our baby. I told him because I never wanted children. I still don't want children, and getting pregnant hasn't changed that. He claimed I was still overwhelmed and not thinking straight, and this annoyed me. It's not like I'm suddenly incapable of making rational decisions. I told him I've had the entire day to calm down and think about what I want to say clearly. If he wants a child, then I won't stop him. It hurts because it means the end of our relationship, but he won't be having that child with me. We fundamentally aren't compatible anymore. I think he started panicking when he realized I was serious. He started talking faster, trying to convince me to keep the baby, that we'd make good parents, that we'd figure it out, and that he'd work harder. He didn't want to listen to the fact that I didn't want to go through with the pregnancy. That I wanted to remain child-free, that our future together was without children in the picture. And to be honest, his insistence was really unnerving. We started arguing because he just wouldn't agree to us separating or me getting an abortion. He never got physical, but his insistence that I couldn't get rid of the baby was upsetting me. I didn't think he did anything to my birth control when I made my first post, as he's never been that kind of person, but I started having doubts. I asked him how long he had changed his mind about wanting kids, and he wouldn't tell me. I asked if it was before or after I told him I was pregnant. He said he didn't know. The relationship was 100% over at this point, so I asked if he had anything else he wanted to tell me. He looked sort of confused, and I elaborated on our birth control methods. Had they been messed with? I can't really explain the expression I saw on his face. It was like fear and anger balled into one. He told me I was nuts and said he couldn't talk to me when I was like this, and left the house. After that, I got all my documents, essentials, electronics, and some clothes together. I also left before he got back and went to a friend's place. We're close, but not best friend close, so I was expecting her to decline when I asked to crash at hers for a bit. She agreed, and after getting in, I told her everything that happened. She said I can stay with her for as long as I need, and she'll be by my side for the abortion. My ex-fiancé called me when he realized I wasn't home. I answered, and he demanded to know where I am. I said, with a friend, and refused to give him any details. I explained that I'm getting an abortion, that I don't need his permission or blessing or whatever, and that I would not stand in his way of wanting a family. But he'll need to have it with someone else. We're probably over, and neither of us should have to compromise on this. The call was heartbreaking. We both ended up crying. Eventually, he said I can come get my stuff when he's at work, but that I'll regret getting rid of our child. I just said, okay, and eventually hung up. He sent me the odd text today asking how I am. Then asking if I'd wait until we could get an ultrasound. I shot that down immediately, and he hasn't sent much else. I'm planning on getting the rest of my things tomorrow when he's at work. It's not the outcome I wanted. I really hoped he just freaked out and didn't want to upset me, but his plans for his life have changed. It's pretty much confirmed we're not together anymore. I'll be getting an abortion soon, and then I'll try to figure out how to piece my life together without my ex in it. I'm sad and mourning the loss of my best friend and partner, but this is preferable to the future he tried to convince me to give in to. Thank you all for your messages and comments.